I saw what was inside my student's backpack and it nearly gave me a heart attack. I was teaching the same grade my daughter was in that year. There was one boy in my class who constantly bothered her, and other girls too. He was always flirting, crossing boundaries, and it often ended with the girls slapping him just to make him stop. I sent him to the office so many times that eventually he was required to sit in the front row. One day, though, he practically begged me to let him sit in the back. I don't know why, but I agreed. We were in the middle of an assignment, and the room was completely silent. Then I heard whispering coming from the back of the classroom. I looked up and saw him showing something to another student. Something that, at first glance, looked like a handgun. It took a second for my brain to process what I was seeing. I didn't have a clear enough view to be certain, so I forced myself to stay calm. I stood up, pretending to help another student, just to get closer. That's when I knew. It wasn't a toy, it was real. I could feel sweat dripping down my face. My hands were shaking so badly I thought I might pass out. I quietly dialed 911 on my phone, but the room was too silent for me to say a word. I couldn't just walk out, I had to protect my students, and more than anything, I had to get my daughter out of that room. I texted the assistant principal in all caps, explaining exactly what I had seen. Minutes passed with no response. I knew I couldn't wait any longer. I called one of the girls up to my desk and slipped her a note. It said, "Ask to use the bathroom. Go get the assistant principal, tell him to check his phone, leave the school immediately." I tried to keep my face calm, but she could tell something was terribly wrong. She nodded and walked out without saying a word. I did my best to act like everything was normal. 5 agonizing minutes later, there was a knock at the door. The assistant principal walked in casually, chatting with a few students as if nothing was wrong. I think the class started to sense that something was off. Finally, he asked the boy to step out into the hallway. Those few seconds watching him walk past my daughter toward the door were the most terrifying moments of my life. The instant he stepped outside, he was tackled to the ground. Later, we learned he had been planning to use the gun on another student during lunch.